People in Yellowknife will soon have a new option on the FM dial, and for many, it'll sound very familiar. The Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, or the CRTC, approved an FM license for cabin radio. The popular Yellowknife-based company streams radio online right now and runs a news website. It's been trying to get on FM for years. Let's take a quick look at how we got here. Cabin Radio first applied for an FM license on August 30th of 2019. For years, there was silence. Then on February 15th, 2023, the CRTC denied Cabin Radio's application for a license. It said that Yellowknife couldn't support another commercial FM radio station. That summer, the Northwest Territories faced its worst wildfire season on record. At one point, more than 2/3 of the territory's residents were evacuated. That and the COVID-19 pandemic prompted the CRTC to rethink its decision. And on March 14th, 2024, it put a call out for FM applications in Yellowknife. In February of this year, the CRTC held a hearing to consider 2 Yellowknife FM applications, one by Cabin Radio and one by Vista Radio, for a second FM station in Yellowknife. Today, the decision came in and the license went to Cabin Radio. All of this adds up to another option for Yellowknifers on FM radio. It comes amidst a changing news and broadcasting industry. People are turning different places for information. But one thing remains true. People still want local news. I spoke earlier to Ollie Williams, one of the founders of Cabin Radio, about what this decision means and what'll happen next. Ollie, thanks for being here.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, you put out a statement today, and it started with, quote, "Yippee-ki-yay, Yellowknifers." And I just want to know if that's an accurate representation of what went through your mind when you got this news.
It might be slightly less enthusiastic than what the reality was of how I felt this morning. Look, it's huge. This is something we've been working to for about 9 years now. We applied for a license 6 years ago. I think a lot of people in Yellowknife know that it's not been the smoothest of roads to get to this point, so our office all day has been crazy. Obviously, we're excited. We're getting lots of people getting in touch as well. We had someone within 3 minutes walk along the street outside yelling, "Congratulations, Cabin Radio." It feels to me like a vindication of what we had said for years, and we're really glad the CRTC saw what we were saying, and the decision today captures a lot of that. But also, it's a way for us to now say, I think, thank you to everybody, because we would not be here without hundreds, thousands of people expressing their support to us, expressing it to the CRTC, and you see in the decision today, the CRTC says that made a difference.
Yeah, there was big community support, even in the CRTC hearings that I was listening to a large chunk of, so that support must mean a lot to you guys.
Yeah, it means everything to us, and none of this could have occurred without it. That now places a huge responsibility on us. People have said, look, this is what we want. They have reasons for wanting it. The job now for me and for the other 4 of us who own it collectively, everyone lives in Yellowknife. We're completely locally owned. We broadcast out of Yellowknife. We have a huge commitment within our license now to go out and encourage Northern Indigenous journalism, Northern Indigenous performers. But basically, we've got to live up to what everybody thinks they're getting, right? They have endorsed a product that they want us to deliver, and now it's our turn to go out and do that on 93.9.
Yeah, let's talk about the product that you're going to deliver. Obviously, you're going to have that space that you mentioned on FM radio. What other changes might people see?
So the big thing is that for 6 years, 7, 8 years, we've been doing this already. So we're not going to suddenly massively change the product and be completely different. We have built an online station around commercial hits music from the last 60 years with a lot of Northern and Indigenous performers in there as well, daily as a regular part of our programming. That commitment does not change. We keep doing that. In fact, it's going to be enshrined in the license that we will play more Canadian music than just about any other commercial station in Canada. And of that, more emerging artists, which is a category the CRTC has, which includes most Northern and Indigenous artists, than any other commercial station in Canada. So by listening to us, you will, by the definition of our license, get more Northern, Indigenous and emerging Canadian music than you're going to get anywhere else. But we'll also match that with a lot of the music everybody knows and loves from the last however many decades. The big change now is we will run more on-air news programming than we currently do, and more current affairs programming, by which I mean interviews with people, capturing what's going on in Yellowknife and around the NWT. And all of that will be wrapped up in broadcasters who we already have, who collectively have 98 years of Northern broadcasting experience. So we've got a very experienced crew that'll bring that to everybody.
I want to talk about something that did come up in this whole 6-year, 9-year saga, and that is the business model, right? Part of the original CRTC denial of the first application was there wasn't enough money to go around in commercials, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's a tough industry right now to be in. It's something that we all know intimately. How will Cabin sustain itself as it grows and expands and offers all of these new programs and its new station?
Part of the reason that I think the CRTC was convinced this time around is we finally had the ability to put in front of them numbers from the first 5-6 years of being an online broadcasting station, where we've demonstrated that we can do this, and it is economic, it is viable. Back in 2019, when we first filed an application, we only had maybe a year or two of figures to show them. When we came back in 2024 and put a fresh application on their desk, we were able to say, look, in 2019, we projected we'd be able to do this as an FM station. Now we don't even have the FM license yet, but we beat those projections. So where we said we'd be in 2024, way back in 2019, with an FM station, we didn't have that, but we were still exceeding all of those measures. So we were able to demonstrate to the CRTC that actually, if anything, the economy here is doing better than we thought it would for us. And they heard that, and they've responded to that. We operate in an environment where we've got really close relations with a lot of local businesses, local partners who support us and we support them. We've got really close connections with communities, not just in Yellowknife, Deal, Delta, but also beyond that. In terms of the residents that we serve, we will still have a territorial remit as far as I'm concerned. We still want to serve the territory. This license is just for Yellowknife. As far as I'm concerned, that's a starting point. Let's get this one off the ground and then look at what we can do next.
Yeah, so what does happen next?
Well, first of all, I think everybody goes and has a really nice meal. Then after that, we need to get a transmitter up and running here in Yellowknife. It's going to take us a few months. It would have been pointless for us to invest in all the equipment that we needed to transmit without having a yes in front of us. That's a lot of money. So we're going to spend that money now, get all that set up in downtown Yellowknife to be able to broadcast. And then let's get that up and running. Let's make sure that that's a robust service. And then let's start looking at what we can do next for the people of the North.
Okay, well, we'll be listening. Thank you so much, Ollie.
Thank you.